Hey, this is Tyler White. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about a gorge hook. Now, to do a gorge hook, you're going to need to know how to create natural cordage from yucca or dogbane or something like that. So refer to my dogbane video on how to make natural cordage. Once you've done that, get this off, you're going to need a little chunk of bone and a little chunk of some of that natural cordage, which I have here. I gathered some bone earlier this week. I spent probably about an hour earlier today and whipped up some natural cordage here. And in here with my water I have a little chunk of bone. Now, what you're gonna need to do to create this is once you've got your cordage, and again this is from dogbane, you're going to need to grind this against a rock until it's pointed, and then essentially we're going to run it inside right there. Okay, so this is slowly starting to take shape. It's not perfect. I'd already kind of had a fracture right here that I kind of worked with. You can tell that that's the inside of it. I'm going to clean it down a little bit. You want it to be really long and thin for these to work. If it's not long and thin enough, then it's just too big for the fish that you have. Small hooks catch small fish and big fish. Big hooks only catch big fish. So when you're making a gag hook, it needs to be big enough that it can actually be wider than the width of the mouth of the fish that you're going after. But if it's too big, you're gonna have issues. So for the fish around here, they're really small. So I gotta keep grinding away at this thing. You can kind of see the powder coming off in the water. You don't have to do this in the water, it just makes it easier to deal with. But I just keep grinding away, shaving it until I get it to the shape I want. And I'm almost there. Had to really grind through a lot of material to get that side down right here. But I also need to reshape the point, make it a little more symmetrical. You don't have to be a perfectionist about this. But a little more effort will make a better quality hook. And with a better quality hook, you have more of a chance of it really setting in the fish. And with that comes more of a chance of catching a fish. All right, I think that's good. So this is the initial shape that you want. I guess you can see that there. And basically what's gonna happen is I'm gonna cut some grooves in the center here, and then we're gonna put the string over it. And the way that this functions is this. You open the tip of the dogbane you made, hook it on like that. Then what you're going to do is you're going to lay it at an angle like this. You're going to push meat into it, or a worm or whatever. Once you've got that pushed on there, the fish comes up and bites it, and then it turns sideways inside of its mouth and gags it from the side. So this is going to be best for something like, oh no, carp or catfish or even bass, something that can handle that size of a hook. Now you can get smaller fish with this, but that means you need a smaller hook. So if I continue to grind away on this hook, I can actually grind it down small enough to skewer a grasshopper, and that would be good enough for a brook trout or something around here. And this works as is, but it really, to be really ultimately effective, you need the grooves on the outside, which I'm going to add right now. Okay, to make that groove that I want on the inside, I'm going to use this edge of this rock. I want something denser like chert. I just don't have it right here. So I'm just going to use what's in the river. And basically you just want a hard angle. And you're going to grind it. And I measure my fingers here so that I can keep it in the center spot. And just grind and grind and grind until you have a circle around the bone gag hook that you're making. It's like you're cutting it in half, but you're not. That is the finished product. So I've got a point on each side, and I've got a groove in the middle to hold. You make the groove a little deeper, you can make your points thinner. It all depends on the type of fish that you're using or you're trying to catch. So, all right, let's put this together. I found some bone. You can find bone in the backcountry just about anywhere. Dead cows, dead deer, whatever. I think this is some antelope. What I did is I smashed it along the side with a big rock between two rocks, and it gives me a bunch of these little shards. Now these little shards already are kind of the shape and the point that I'm looking for. So what I did then is I grabbed some sandy rock, and this is just rock from the bottom of the river, and I ground on it like this until I created my point. I got both sides. Since one side was already a shard, I didn't have much work to do, and it's still very sharp. Sharp as bone's gonna get, essentially. Then, once I ground that into that football kind of shape that I'm looking for, I grabbed a rock edge. You can either take a round rock, smash it with another rock and create this edge, or you can grab one that's already broken. I like to use denser rock like agate or chert or something that has more rigidity to it, but this is just sandstone from the bottom of the river, so that works too. And then I ground this way, you know, right along that center part until I created the grooves. The reason that you need that groove is the rope kind of holds onto it that way, and you want it to continue to pull on the hook once the fish grabs it. If you don't create those grooves, it can slide off. So I took, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes and created some yucca. I'm sorry, this isn't yucca, this is Dogbane cordage. In order for it to be all natural. You can use yucca for cordage, you can use Dogbane. I'm sure there's tons of other things in your area that have fibers. The process is the same. In order to understand how to do this, check out my video, how to make Dogbane cordage, because this is a process in and of itself. Now, when you start creating this rope, you basically take a string and you twist it together and it makes a loop right at the tip. This is that loop. You need to grab the loop and kind of separate it just a little bit and push that gag hook right into that little hole. You want it to be snug and tight, so I like to twist it up again nice and tight. That is what you're looking for. Okay? Now what you're going to do with this, you can take a mouse, you can take a grasshopper, a worm, take some meat, take a chunk of jerky, fold it vertically like this, stab it into that meat. Okay? Once it's stabbed into that meat, make sure that this little point right here is hanging out of the meat. You're gonna stake this to the ground and put that out in the water. Put it out in a tidal zone. Put it somewhere where you're gonna have a fish like a catfish or a bass or something that can handle this size of an object to eat. They're gonna bite it, and as they bite it, when they pull on it, it pulls this vertically. Okay, as they pull on it, it wedges itself out, and that catches in the side of the mouth, that catches in the gills, And that's how you catch your fish with a gag hook. All right, I hope this is valuable to you. It's a little bit of a harder technique, but primitive techniques usually are a little bit harder. So if you spend a bunch of time and make a bunch of these, at least you're being productive with your time and you have the ability to catch multiple fish. If you make 10 of these and you catch 2 fish, that's 2 fish you didn't have before. So if this is valuable to you, leave comments down below, hit the subscribe button. If you want to check out any of the other videos, I've got a bunch of other videos on this channel, and there's also other people that are a deep well of knowledge, very intelligent, very educated people on this channel. Go check them out, and this has been a Gag Hook by Tyler White. Thank you for watching.